What's going on, everybody? It is -8 degrees here, frozen, but we still got to get some swings in. So I'm going to take you through a little range session right now, which I call like a maintenance session. So it's like when you get weather like this, that is absolutely terrible. How do you manage that range session to just at least get some balls in, at least get some reps in so that you can maintain what you're doing during these periods where you can't really practice. So without further ado, let's go freeze our balls off out there. Okay, so step one after getting all the balls is you need to build the ball pyramid. Now, you got to use the heater here because you got to defrost the balls. So basically what we're trying to do is get these as close as possible to here. But I don't like this. So we're going to get the table, and that's going to make it better. Oh yeah, let's go. This is better. All right, that makes way more sense. So yeah. So we take this, because basically I'm not trying to crack or ruin my clubs, and or I don't want to hit golf balls that are absolutely frozen. So we build the ball pyramid. I want these as close to the heater as possible. That's pretty good. I wonder. No, that'll be too close. Okay, so there we go. It's warm. Yeah. It's there. You just got to find the right angle, you know. It's pretty good, you know, on these kind of days. You know, only the real golf psychos are here. So you tend to meet good people that are just as insane as you are and love the game as much as you do, which is quite wonderful. One thing I started doing just over a year ago was actually taping my fingers. And this is actually a result of doing a lot of range sessions in the winter. I find, you know, when your skin gets so dry, and no matter how much water I drink or how much hand moisturizer I use or whatever, I just find in the winter, my hands would just get absolutely mangled. And so I just use athletic tape on certain key areas. And I found that, one, I didn't have to spend a whole bunch of money on Band-Aids because my hands were not getting torn up all the time. And then two, I actually got pretty good like grip connection. I found that my connection to the club and just the way I would grip it and the feel actually improved. So this is just now something I do rain, shine, winter, summer. I'm always taping my hands, and you know, it helps with the cuts and helps with the game. The other thing too, when you're, you know, if you're lucky enough to have a heater, is that if you can angle your clubs to kind of also be in the heat, and like sometimes what I've even done is I'll throw these up here so that the clubs I'm going to use are warm and they're not completely frozen as well. I don't know. It just feels better than hitting a frozen club. So I'll have a couple of those, you know, up there on the rotisserie. At least, you know, just keeps them slightly defrosted and hopefully saves them from breaking. And then the other thing I'm gonna be 100% more militant on when it's this cold is my warm up and my stretching. You know, we don't wanna risk doing anything stupid. We're not here to try and be a hero. Though I have done speed sessions in these kind of temperatures, it's just not something I'm trying to do today. The point of today is really to just get contact with the ball and feel hitting shots, right? We want to just remember what it's like to hit the ball and remember what it's like to get shots in and get work in, because I think that's the feeling that really, you know, you lose, and that's the touch you lose when you aren't playing a lot and when you have to take days off for, you know, these winter days. So I'm just trying to get super loose, get the whole body going, and then we're just going to try and feel nice and loose and remember what impact feels like today. All right, first batch of balls can come down, and we typically hand pick some of the older ones. There's these two types of balls here. There's these like nice yellow ones, and then there's ones that are kind of more faded yellow. And then we try and get all the faded yellow ones out of the way first for warm up and wedges, because they're not as good. We don't love them. And then we save the nice yellow ones for when we're cooking and we want to hit some better shots or hit some drivers. Probably won't hit any drivers today with just how cold it is. Not in the mood to crack a face. So we're going to stick with these for now. And while we warm up with those, these go back up top. And now we're ready to get some work in. Another key thing too that I forgot to mention is clothing. I currently have one t-shirt, one long sleeve, then a thermal long sleeve, then this sweater, then I have long johns, long socks, and then these joggers that are like sweat panty. So all of that, because I still want to be mobile, right? I don't want to feel like the Michelin man in here. You know, if I can't move, then that doesn't help me either, and that doesn't make this practice worthwhile. So trying to get both is important. Whew. Those are terrible, but the point is not to be good. I'm just trying to get loose because I'm trying to get a sense of how my body's working today. So none of those swings are meant to be anything remarkable. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is moving correctly so that I can actually start getting some decent swings in. There we go. The one thing I know is that my lower body is going to take a second to catch up, especially on these frozen days. Getting that sequencing right is probably the hardest to do when it's this cold. There you go. That was the first probably real swing of the day that actually felt like myself. All right, we've now moved into the 8-iron portion. Oh, it is nice when you have them up there getting toasty. See, the clubs feel nice and warm in your hands. That's a good little hack. You know what, considering the cold, the couple things that are gonna, disappear when it's this cold in your swing are your width and your rotation, right? At least for me. So this actually feels pretty good, surprisingly. Wow. 3 pretty decent swings in a row. Now that we're a little looser, let's see if we can get a little more intention out of these swings. That was a good one. That one felt really good. That's good. You know what? Like, the biggest fear from taking any time off really is your sequencing and your feels deteriorating, especially if you're in a good spot before you have to shut it down. The last thing you want to have to do is rebuild those feels. And I'm always just trying to make sure that I'm not losing, the point I'm at. That's a little, see, that's that wipey right. That's poor transition. That's also a consequence of potentially being so cold, right? I learned a lot about committing to swings when it's this cold. There we go. That's what it's got to be, right? There is something about with these swings, because you can't go as fast as you normally would, right? Because you can't go as fast as you normally would, the focus on tempo and technique, I think, takes a little bit more of a premium because you're not in optimal conditions. You're definitely not as athletic as you would be if it was a lot warmer. so good. That one was really good. Tough to see here, but in terms of, wear mark from today's session, not bad. You know what? For not touching a club for a couple days and coming out here and minus a million, that's a pretty good center contact, and I'll take that. You know what? Minus 9 4-iron. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm actually pretty shocked how good the 4-irons are, because normally that's like the hardest thing to hit in this weather. It's just a committed 4-iron. It's not bad, a little right, but let's see if we can hit a high draw here. Wow. Let's go. Whew. You know what? Today is a good day. All right, let's see if we can hit like the punch 4 now and hold off the finish. That's sick. All right, we're back here at home now. My phone died because it was so cold. It actually completely drained the battery, which is wild. But hopefully this gave you guys some insight as to just how I handle a maintenance range session, right? It's not too different from a normal range session. I'm basically trying to get to 8-iron and 4-iron as quickly as possible. And I say the big difference is that, when in the off season, when you have gaps of days you can't get out there and do a real practice, the key is just to feel impact again, right? I think taking too long away from swings, your body just starts to forget what it's like to hit the ball. And I think no matter how many rehearsals and things you can do, and even myself, on days off, I like to do a lot of rehab work and a lot of stuff in the gym to prep my body for swings. But nothing can accomplish what swinging the club will do. And so, I go in there with very low expectations, and the point is just to feel impact and make sure that my feels are maintaining and the progress I've made is maintaining, because I don't want to go backwards. So as long as we're keeping the train moving forward, we're happy. And safe to say, today's range session was great. I think if the weather was warmer, I would have been back to full speed, no problem. So that's really good. That's really positive. And I think this is something I'm going to be able to take into the next week. We only have a couple more days of this frozen weather, and then we should be back in action, which is great, which means also be able to start taking some of this new good swing vibes into my -6 challenge, because I had a lesson with my coach Max the other day. We've been finessing a couple things, and I think I'm going to be able to take all that into that challenge. So I'm really excited to get back to that. But anyway, with that, hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.